Hello, Isaac and Declan. From me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I just wanted to wish you congratulations for your first anniversary. It seems much longer than a year, in the nicest possible way. I can't believe that this time last year, the world didn't know you existed. Maybe you didn't exist. Did you exist? I don't know. Anyway, I won't linger because I'm sure you've got an exciting show ahead for us to listen to. But my friend Ick is here now. You've probably seen me talking about Ick on the Twitters, and Ick's an alien, and Ick wanted to sing you happy birthday. Ick, sing the guys happy birthday.
Okay, Paul. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Declan Isaac and the That's a Shame podcast. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, very good, Ick. Wonderful. Gosh, I think that Isaac and Declan will be asking you to join their singing group soon.
Do you think so, Paul?
I think there is a very good chance that will happen. Yes. What about it? A duet with Ick? Huh? Yeah? Great. That's done then. We'll pencil it in. All right, and happy birthday, guys. Keep up the good work. And yes, I'll speak to you soon. This is me, Paul the Shy Yeti, speaking. From the Shy Life podcast. Say goodbye, Ick.
Goodbye, Ick.
Yes, that's right. Goodbye. Goodbye.
The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 77 of That's a Shame.
You didn't know I was going to play that. You didn't know the police were going to be driving past.
Coming up to get us.
Oh, that's a shame. Day 2. Oh, it stops. Hooray!
That's right. It is the 1 year Shameiversary.
A year ago today.
of
You were
That's
barely a
Shame.
glint in your mother's eye.
And you also.
No, I was fully formed. Who are you?
I'm Declan.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Declan, the barely mum glint.
That's him. And together, it's That's a Shame. Now in its second year of broadcast.
Isn't that madness?
Yeah, it is. I
That
mean, we
is
kind of already
nonsense.
were across 2 years, but now it's like not just a calendar year.
Yeah.
Now it's an official. No one can ever take that away.
We've been doing this for a year.
If we stopped now, and who knows what might happen? Asteroids, anything.
Do you know what's interesting though?
Go on.
Is that it's literally exactly a year today
Hmm.
that we posted, which means that in an absolute mad turn of events for That's a Shame, we posted our first podcast on a Tuesday.
Oh no, we
Isn't
didn't have any kind of
Isn't that
release
disgusting?
schedule. God, I hate past us with a passion.
Remember when we did episode 3.5?
Fools!
0.5!
And no one listened to it.
Didn't download it for months, the cunts.
That one has such a like. It's like when you turn life support off a relative.
It's amazing because even now, kind of a year on,
Still burns.
there's people look at it and go 0.5. How about you fuck off?
This can't be an episode worth listening to, thought everyone. But here we are. It's quite the achievement. That's all right for us to say about
It
our
is.
own
Sorry,
stuff. Have I made my hair look weird?
You have.
What did I do to it?
There was a bit sticking out
tuft.
at right angles.
That's
on
my
the
new
rest.
look for the new year.
Don't be
It's
saying
the
that.
new me.
This is supposed to be our big year. We've submitted a script to
Oh,
both
we
the
have.
BBC and the BAFTA.
You know the BAFTAs. We're getting one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's it. We sent off for
You
a
send
BAFTA.
off, you pay like a nominal 40 quid-ish fee, and then I think they just look at it as formality though at this stage. They just kind of check you got all the details right, you didn't use caps lock too many times in the form, because it does shout at you if you do.
Now, sorry, how, as a pair of people who are, are tall-moneyed, how did we manage to conjure up this £42?
The £42 entry fee for the BAFTA Rockcliffe or Rowcliffe new script nomination comedies.
That's the one.
Rolls off the tongue. Well, it's good that you asked. We dug into the pockets of our producers, by which I mean, of course,
Our
patrons.
Oh.
Patreon.com/ShameCity. They've funded art here. Now
Now, do you think people will think it's a bit
of a waste?
No.
Oh, good. Then no.
I mean, possibly that as well. But do you think people think it's a bit poor of us to be pitching the Patreon on our anniversary episode? Should this not just be something?
It's a celebration of its own sort.
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm not saying
right.
That's
You're
a bad
saying
thing.
that some.
I'm just saying for
left.
if we did have a listener out there who, after a year,
sure
still hadn't been weaned out by any of the other violently kind of divisive things that we say on this podcast. If somehow they'd slipped through all those nets, and they happened to be a debt lev and they were listening, and they were like, "Oh,
maybe they've only listened to episode 3.5 and they found it roundly uncontroversial,"
and they were like, "Oh, I listened to the anniversary. Oh, pitching the Patreon.
That's a little gauche.
That's very second 11.
Yeah,
I like that phrase. Do you know that phrase?
Second 11, is it a
Second
football
11.
thing?
Yeah.
Is it because the second 11 would be like what, worse?
Yeah, worse.
Right.
Lower class.
Yeah.
I remember
But
it
football's
being
a working
said
class
very.
game.
I know, but when you're at a school,
Oh, I see.
the idea is you're
okay.
out class. It was said to me.
I was in
to
the
be
first
fair,
11,
by
so
a
that's an issue.
very likable and in no sense classist teacher, but it was at a kind of big event at the school. They had a sort of fancy dinner in the hall.
Go Hogwarts, mate.
That's me.
Fancy dinner
I
in the
did,
hall.
yeah.
Fuck me.
And I, they brought around some bread rolls, and I picked one out and then used the cutlery foolishly to my right. And the teacher, was like,
what a fox pass.
He was like, cutlery to our right, very second 11.
That is a good phrase, yeah. I like that. It's got a nice ring to it.
Teachers often have that. There was a guy called Mr. Sampson, who was a teacher, not when I was at the school, but when I was teaching there, who had the absolutely unenviable task of being the kind of staff room coordinator, which was a voluntary position, which basically meant he was in charge of making sure the staff room didn't evolve into one big fight. Is it
likely to?
Oh, very.
Really?
The staff room is one great big hub of bitching.
Is
That's
it?
the whole thing.
Oh, I never got to
It's
go to
everything
staff
people would want a staff room to be.
Good.
As pupils, certainly. But also in charge of things
at your
like...
school, were there always rumours about like what was in the staff room? Like,
Yeah.
Mate, I heard they got a pinball machine.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Dartboard
They don't, Derek.
with your faces on it and all of that. But also in charge of things like collecting the kitty for tea and milk and whatnot. Basically, everyone chucks a tenner.
Tea and milk.
Yeah, everyone.
I know.
That
But
is
sounded
it.
like a cat.
Oh yeah. Everyone chucks a tenner in at the beginning of the year, and then that's it. You know, you got 700 quid.
The school doesn't fund.
No. Oh no. He's a tight-assed cunt, the headmaster.
Nice.
The head, genuinely, I've told my mum, next time he tries any of his stunts,
She works there as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just say, because I'll be down then, I'll be bringing you.
I'm because for it, yeah. We having a new social justice.
Yeah, one of Mum's colleagues who works there, who I won't name, just in case.
Yeah, give them a pseudonym though, because I'd love to picture someone. You know that.
We'll call her
Dolores.
No. We're not calling them Dolores. No.
Scrumpton.
Definitely not.
Sally.
No.
Lozenge.
That's a hard pass.
Oh fuck.
We'll call her Minerva.
Deliza. Okay.
Minerva.
Right.
You see, it's a name that's got that power behind it.
Minerva McGonagall. Yeah.
She is the definition of.
Is she like snooty?
No.
You shouldn't give her a
hardworking.
snooty name. Oh right.
Like she is an absolute
Good job
soldier.
we didn't call her Dolores Lozenge.
Exactly.
If she's the hero of this
Yeah,
story.
no, we don't.
That would have been slander.
Recently, because of the utterly draconian measures that have been put in place about staff taking any kind of time off.
Oh yeah.
Hesitated about asking for time off to go to a funeral.
Oh no.
For a close family member, and indeed for her own son's graduation.
Wow.
Who, despite being someone who has never taken a lunch break in their life, stays hours after they are mandated to every single day, took one day off for a funeral in the year I was there.
Dead.
And was told, that's absolutely fine, but if you could go round to the assistant head and collect up the extra work you'll have to do at home in order to make up for this.
I would have burnt this place.
Imagine
to ash.
having the fucking gall.
Yeah.
But Mr. Sampson, who kind of ran the staff from, sent an email round one morning that I arrived to all staff, and basically it was that the day before the milkman had been on strike or whatever. There had been no milk delivered, so people couldn't have tea. And he basically just sent this email around going, the milk's being delivered today. Yes, thank you to the 30 staff who emailed saying that there was no milk. I wouldn't worry too much. Like I say, it'll be here today. And just finished by saying, worse things have happened at sea.
That's a great expression. Worst thing
just signed off. Signed, Mr. Sampson.
Nice. That's good. Well, look, all of that is preamble, really, because this is the anniversary edition.
It is.
It's the show's birthday. And the show, in many ways, Sondheim always talks about how, as an only child, Stephen Sondheim, you remember off of The Greatest Person to exist. He always says...
Are we delving back into this?
Steve, what he always says when he collaborates on a show, he loves a collaborator.
Guys, I have this theory that Isaac has a fantasy in which
Steve
Sondheim
listens. Can you imagine?
That every now and then he just drops
I like
him in.
to listen to That's a Shame. It helps me compose.
Is Stephen Joshua Sondheim.
My favourite hobby.
That's a
Can you imagine if we got him to do a little intro stinger?
That's a shame. You're listening to That's a
We've
Shame.
got people who know him that we know, so we can maybe start working on that. But anyway, look, stop interrupting me. Sondheim, Stephen Joshua Sondheim, he says that when you're collaborating on a show,
Cats.
that's it. Yeah, Jesus Christ Superstar,
Jesus Christ
Starlight
Super
Express. No, he did none of that. Don't be slanderous, okay? He says that a show, it's like a family, and he says, this is a hackneyed observation, but having a show, it's like having a baby, and then once it's out in the world, it's its own concept, and when people attack it or praise it, there's only so much credit you can take for it, which is why those 5-star reviews, I take all those, but if we ever got a 1-star review, distanced.
We do have one 4-star review.
Who's that from? Is that some sort of traitor? Some sort of
do you mean
excommunicated traitor that we don't allow into our inner circle?
Do you mean my girlfriend?
Oh,
that's the one.
Psych! If you could amend that, though, Declan's girlfriend, to the 5 stars, I think that option is still available to you.
Yeah, Bryony, I think you can delete and resubmit that.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, maybe just delete your whole account and then make a new one, because it's probably worth it at this point.
We don't need or you deserve.
It's just not on, is it? I mean, people will be out.
It feels like, and I don't want to be the one to say this, I love the girl.
Yeah.
But only 80% of the available stars feels like she only put 80% of the available effort
into your relationship. That's what you're saying. That's what
To the
Declan just
review.
said. No, he did a little nod there that you won't have seen.
Look,
being
we
an
can
audio.
both do more.
But here we are a year later, and of course, I think you will have heard Paul Shameiversary at the beginning.
You will indeed, if Isaac remembers to properly edit
I did.
it in.
Look, I've got it there and everything.
I know it's there, but
I'd never forget these things. Very, very astute editor, it says on my business cards that I made myself for free. Wow. But you will have heard Paul sending in a birthday message, and we're very grateful, because it's Paul and people like him that have really kept the wind in our sails.
Paul, one of our longest standing,
absolutely.
And that's amazing, because, some of the stuff we've been through, a lot of things we've said, people we've attacked, some very, very weak episodes.
Christmas content, you're right.
Some episodes of genuine drivel.
Yeah.
I mean,
most episodes of genuine drivel.
No, but I mean genuine, real hard.
Because on podcasts, some people are like, it's a bit of a bad episode this week. We've had a bit of chat instead of getting straight to the true crime, grisly murder exploitation, and they don't really mean it. You're saying this is below that.
Over the last few months, I mean, the number of times that my contribution to the content has been talking about my car breaking down has been, bit above the
national average.
Well, not just the national,
the recommended
but the
daily amount.
acceptable average.
Okay.
For a podcast that isn't actually about cars,
car maintenance.
But Paul and many others have stuck with us through that,
through thick and thin, absolutely, and it's really
and by thick and thin, what we mean is an awful lot of thin.
An awful lot of Loki porn. Like, the ratio is skewed heavily.
Loki porn or low-key porn?
Yeah, yes. Correct on both counts.
Right, yes, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So we've prepared, I think, separately and together in spirit, some anniversary content.
Yes.
Am I right in
That's
coming to that
correct,
conclusion? I've had mine prepared, of course, for months now, because this is something I've been building up to in my head as a big moment.
Just so that we're clear,
Yeah.
Isaac, you know how there are years,
Yeah.
and then there are dog years.
Oh, yeah, the dogs.
Well, there are
year.
months, and then there are Isaac months.
Yeah.
And an Isaac month is about 40 minutes. So when he says he's had his content prepared for months, what he means is he has had it prepared for 40 minutes. And
Yeah,
that
but
in itself is
they
generous.
do say be prepared.
And now my content,
and preparation is halfway to execution.
Yep. I'm working on my content
For how
for over a month.
Are you joking?
I'm not even joking.
This is going to be a really...
I genuinely swear to you that my content took over a month.
Is it going to be
prepare.
reflected in the quality of the content?
100%.
Then I would withdraw my content from submission.
Also, if you deny that the quality of content is worth
then
that,
this is the end of the year.
I mean,
It was a 1 year run.
I'm not just by my hand. There will be people queuing up.
Oh, wow.
There'll be folks queuing up to end.
Well, I feel like we shouldn't open with something that's had a lot more
no,
effort
I'd
put
like
into
to
it.
start with some content.
Okay, that's fine. Why not get into
Because
it?
what I did was, not only have I prepared the best bit of content the show's ever seen,
Hang on. We've done which Columbine victim are you quizzed? And you're saying that...
sorry.
Yeah, I thought you might have forgotten.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so second best.
Second best. Second best bit of. Although.
No, that was well received.
No, it was. What I'm saying is that there was also, we did 2 separate hooked stories.
Oh, that's true.
So my content is at least 4th.
Yeah.
Surely.
We can put both the hooks
and then
into one
episode
category.
28, is it? Wheel of Cheese?
Uh-huh.
That whole thing is a marvel of content.
Yeah, that's really the only episode I've ever
Okay,
listened
look,
to.
not only have I come to the table with the most long in terms of pre-preparation.
Uh-huh. You're saying it's also going to cover a period of time. What's the
No.
other length then?
No, I'm just saying, not only is it really well
Long.
prepared, but it's great. But I've come with another thing as well.
Oh,
And what I've come with is an on this day.
okay. Yeah,
I figured as an anniversary,
yeah, makes
that's
sense.
the sort of thing we should look at. There's a couple of interesting things. What I'd like to start by saying is that the BBC, which is where I got this from, I think you might as well,
Yeah,
they've got, let's count, 7 things.
okay.
And what I'm going to say is...
7 things ever happened on this day.
Yeah. What I'm going to say is, of these 7, 3, 4 are bad.
Okay.
And not just bad, but really quite poor.
Okay, let me just make sure I'm not going to accidentally...
Another one is potentially a contentious lie,
Okay.
given some research we did yesterday. And the other 2, one is good, and another I have no knowledge of.
Good. Well, that does sound...
So what order do you want them in?
I think they say get the bad news out of the way first.
I feel like it's...
You don't want to share the bad news?
I don't want... No, I'm going to, but I don't think starting with it's a good idea, because if I do, we're not going to recover.
Okay, so we say that to the...
Should we do it, or maybe alternate?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that, I mean, we will
Like
end
a
on
praise burger.
We will end on a down note, because the bad does significantly outweigh the good.
I'll find a way to find some light in it, I'm sure.
That is not necessarily something you might want to do.
Okay.
Okay. Well, 1996. I was 2. You were 3.
I was probably 3 or 4.
Oh, 3 then 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're 92, aren't you?
I'm not 92, let's clarify. I was born in 92. Significant difference.
That's amazing.
It's a much better year than 94. No one gives even a fuck about it.
Very old.
Oh! No, let's carry on.
But 96.
Yeah.
Not a great year in and of itself.
Can't
but
think of much
not-
that happened that was worthwhile.
But you'd think average year. One of the 7 biggest stories
Yep.
of this date is 1996. Greek tourists killed by Egyptian gunmen. 17 Greek tourists. Now,
In Egypt. They were touring Egypt.
and an Egyptian tour guide
Oh.
have been killed by gunmen in Cairo. What I'm going to say is, I think that 18 surpasses the number at which you say the number in the headline. If it were 3 or 4, you could say tourists and not name it. But when it's 18, you're
Saying they
like,
should have gone dozen and a half.
yeah,
Because dozen plus 5.
1.5 dozen
One
Greek
score minus 2.
tourists. You know, it feels like enough to warrant its own actual story. Now, is that something we want our anniversary to be linked with?
No, I don't think so.
Is that Screen or Gleam?
That's neither.
It doesn't even qualify.
No, it's so out of that wheelhouse.
All right. Okay. Well.
Try the next
okay
one.
then.
Try
What
the next
about
one.
1978?
Oh, I can't imagine much good.
President Jimmy Carter
Wow.
wins Panama Canal battle.
Okay.
Now, in my mind, that
was
sounds
standing
like
on the
Tekken.
canal. Yeah.
It sounds like
It was the
Jimmy
first
Carter
arcade
had a
game.
big fucking fight with an enormous crocodile
Yeah.
in the river.
And that's how he became elected.
But it turns out that the US Senate narrowly backed President Carter's controversial Panama Canal Treaty.
Ah.
Now, do you know about the Panama Canal
No,
Treaty?
and I'm not interested.
No, neither do I.
Good.
And neither am I. But he won.
That's good.
So
Should we
if
do
you
a round
need
of
that-
applause? No, because we don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah, so we don't want to
Yeah, we don't
applaud
wanna
it. Imagine if the Panama Canal Treaty was, we push all the Native Americans
Into
beneath the Panama Canal.
But what if it was really good and by not applauding we're actually even worse?
What we're going to say is,
Hedge our bets.
we don't want to
Talk about
take
it.
a stance on it.
Yeah.
Because we feel that either could be alienating.
Yeah, we don't know enough about it.
But if it was great, we're behind it. If it was shit, then we
Oh, hate it. I'll kick
Yeah.
it.
94.
Yep.
Now, do you remember there being any particularly bad things in 94?
There's a lot of bad turbulence on a flight I went on in 94.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me at the time. Because I was only
yeah,
an
that's
infant.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else happened?
There was a really bad earthquake.
Oh, foot and mouth, maybe. And mad cow disease was around
But
that time.
as I'm reminded, on this day, in the year of my birth,
Yep.
now, I don't want blame for this. I was only 3 months and a day old.
Uh-huh.
It's not my fault. But killing did spread in Rwanda.
That is bad.
Yeah.
Mid-genocide, are we, at this
The
point?
ethnic violence,
Yeah.
as they've called genocide on the BBC, in Rwandan capital, now I'm going to say Kigali,
Yeah, it's Kigali.
Yeah.
Good. I've
It's-
got some good Rwandan knowledge. I can
it's-
support this.
spreading throughout the country. Aid officials say. Screen or Gleam.
No. Neither. It's going to be
That's a
hard no.
categorical weep
Yeah.
on the Screen or Gleam scale. But also, 1960, thousands protest against H-bomb.
Good.
So that's good because
Yeah.
we're linked now to
Bob Dylan.
sure.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is this is as good as Tambourine Man.
I'd say, I mean, he was how old, like 21 or something when he wrote that?
Yeah.
And where I'm about that. Yeah.
you're
No, I'm
25.
roughly about like 20,
Well,
20 like early mid-20s.
Early mid-20s in that
yeah.
you're at the start of the mid-20s in that you are at the very middle of your 20s.
Pretty, you know, I mean,
You know, that
young age is
you're at the start.
age is what you
you're-
feel.
You're at the start of the
of
century.
my life. And 20s are the new,
Yeah, start of the century
18.
quarters.
yeah, so it's fine. So we're
You are
new
25
Bob Dylan.
years old.
Oh,
But that's that. You know, you've
I've got so much to give.
plenty of time left.
Yeah,
Plenty of time left
I know.
until you go into obscurity. At least 3 or 4 years
Exactly.
before that. There was, however, 1955.
Mm-hmm.
Albert Einstein died.
Oh no, he was killed by maths, wasn't he? He knew
What it
too
was,
much
there was
about
a big-
E equals MC squared, so the numbers had to get him.
What he died of was hospital.
Oh, fuck.
Died of hospital.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
76. What's the pattern?
Well, hospital,
More bad things
lot of
than
deaths.
good.
Weird. Spooky.
Eminent scientist, Dr. Albert Einstein,
Mm-hmm.
comma, who developed the theory of relativity,
Yeah,
comma,
true.
dies in hospital.
And then someone stole his brain, didn't they? As I
Is that
recall.
what happened? They stole his
I
brain.
could have been making this up or confusing it with a dream, but here are the facts as I understand them. His brain.
In either reality
Rolled out
or
of
my
his
dream.
eyes.
Like a great big brain octopus.
Someone...
Like a neurological squid, it
There's
gripped to the
some
sides of its
fact about
skull
his
tank
brain.
and crawled away.
Someone, and they did like weighing and they did tests
That
on
could-
it and he didn't want them to
that
happen.
sounds
And then someone stole it.
That sounds mildly...
Nicolas Cage.
I basically remember
Yeah,
that.
National Treasure
yeah.
3.
Yeah. John Turtletaub. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Regain the brain.
What I'd say is that as a podcast, we're probably more pro than anti-Einstein.
Yeah, sure.
So we're not pro his death.
No.
That's not our fault. Because
We're pro
look,
remembering it.
look, if we'd known, we were young, we were naive when we started this podcast. I was only 24 when we started this podcast,
My whole life was ahead of me.
and now gone.
Over the hill.
We'd have made sure we didn't start the podcast on
Such
the
an
date
offensive
of
day.
Albert Einstein's death.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is, in hindsight, a year on,
Well, look,
he was good. He was all right. He was all right. There's that
by-
photo of him with his tongue.
Putting all this joy on an otherwise, in terms of Einstein, very sad day, we're hoping to... Because basically they cancel each other out, don't they? So
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
death's sad, but our show's happy. And then that's just neutral, kind of, meh. It's an all right day.
Yeah. Now,
That's what we're going for.
we've got two stories left.
Okay.
One,
We'll be
which is,
diving back into genocide at all.
I'm really afraid that we will.
Oh, no! That's not necessary.
One is a good thing,
Right.
but
Done poorly.
no, we think, or I think,
Yeah.
that based on research we've done,
Yeah, I
for
don't
a
know what you're
project
alluding
we
to.
should elucidate, this could be a lie.
Okay.
Because what this tells me is in 1956, British Chancellor
Uh-huh.
Harold Macmillan unveils plans for premium bond scheme.
Oh, yes, that is very niche. Yeah, we thought that was under the auspices
But
of...
what I've realised is it's not Prime Minister, it's British Chancellor
Yeah.
Harold Macmillan. He was Eden's Chancellor.
So
So it is still under Anthony Eden.
it's
Now,
under him, but it's not really him that's done the heavy lifting, it sounds like there.
who?
He, Anthony.
No, surely he did.
Well, why would he have...
He was a
why
great
is he
man.
going to fob it off to
No,
Macmillan?
he was a great man.
Do you think he was throwing
he
in
was
the bone?
humble, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you release this one.
Do you think Macmillan would have been one of the long-standing and most well-respected of Conservative Prime Ministers if it hadn't been for this?
For premium bonds.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a day that goes by in my life that I don't wake up and think, oh, God, premium bonds. The thought stops there,
I have
though.
premium bonds.
Wow, I don't know what they are.
They're
And
good.
further, I don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you, I'm just
Good.
saying that I do.
I just wanted to
What I was
point
going to
out.
say is that about Macmillan is
Uh-huh.
that whilst, well respected, he is, I think, the only British Prime Minister to have what is commonly known as a Knight of the Long Knives.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I believe, a Nazi term, most famously.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I'm not saying that it was as bad,
No,
but what I am saying is, it doesn't bode well.
no, true.
But what I was going to say is, are we going to reveal anything about why we were researching Anthony Eden?
It's not very interesting to the listeners, I wouldn't have thought, is it? But we can, is what I mean. It's not
Yeah.
like breaking news.
No, it's not breaking news,
Yeah.
but should we talk about it?
Yeah, why not?
Should we give them the hope? Should we let them share in our hope?
Yeah. Here's
Yeah.
the hope.
We're going to win a BAFTA.
That's it. Anyway, next genocide on the list. Let's just tick them off. Whee!
Winning a BAFTA, that box gone.
So that one be on the good.
Genocide.
That's a
tick.
bad.
Oh, sorry, cross.
Yeah,
Cross. Yeah.
Easy mistake to make. That's what the French found. So for the last almost
Year.
exactly a year.
Over a year.
Yeah, it's not much over a year because it was on my way to Australia, so it was probably like March, the end of March, early April.
Yeah.
I was on a plane, and I've talked about this trip. I really didn't talk very much about this trip, and
You spoke about it in episode 4.
yeah, but I had loads of notes to talk about, but then I just forgot about them because you know how holidays kind of exist. I also wasn't on holiday; I was working, but working is in heavy inverted
Yeah.
commas.
Let's not.
I
say
was.
It wasn't.
It was literally a
You
work
weren't doing
trip.
hard labour though, were you? You
I
went
mean,
down the mine.
it's intellectually
You were having
taxing.
fucking McSpiders and triple cheeseburgers.
It was before I went vegetarian. True. Yes, I was doing that. That's true. But on the other hand, deep into the work, I was toiling I was walking to and from the
You were
theatre.
dressing as a dog.
I was dressing as a dog on a nightly basis.
You were being,
up to-
proposed to publicly.
Oh yeah, by those strangers. Very odd. But there are all sorts of things that I never talked about from that trip, and here's one of them. On the way there, the flight I may have made reference to before. I don't like flying. I find it very dull. I woke up after what felt like 10 hours of a 29,000-hour trip. It had been less than 1 second. Everyone was asleep in that kind of, when everyone falls asleep and they look dead. When you look at someone, you think that's what you'll look like when you're dead, when they're asleep. Yeah?
Yeah.
You do that. Especially if they've got like any amount of like orifices that should be closed during sleep open, like mouth. And doing like catching in the back of their throat.
What you did there was you said mouth and you opened your mouth.
Yeah.
But then what you did was you opened your eyes as if to imply you thought the eyes were an orifice.
Well, in a way they are, if there wasn't a big eyeball there.
Skin's an orifice. If it wasn't there,
They
you'd
are.
just be straight.
They are
into
an
them.
orifice.
But not
The tear ducts.
hugely.
They're pretty big as orifices go. You want to start doing some comparison anatomically.
To what? To the mouth.
everything else
Imagine
on
if your
offer.
tear ducts were as big as your mouth.
Or just your eyes were as
Just
big as your
wept
mouth.
and just an enormous mouth-sized sphere of tear.
Like a
came out.
river.
Hashtag sphere of tear.
But anyway, everyone was all asleep like that, and it was horrid and like a zombie film. So in my sort of all the lights are off as well, so I kept wandering up and down for a bit, trying to watch Moana over and over again to try and like pass the time in some vague sense. And eventually I sat down and had this idea where I can't remember, I think the title probably came to me first. After Eden was the title. And I thought, oh, that's a good title, but it's such a cliche that anything that had that title would have to be knowingly taking the piss out of it. So then I remembered that there was a prime minister called Anthony Eden, who I continue to know nothing about with any sense of depth. And we decided, I think I started then writing a scene from what I envisioned as a TV pilot or play. I think I thought of it as a play at the time as well, about two people trying to write a musical, inspired by the fact that I was on the way to performing a musical, I expect, about Anthony Eden, but like us, in that amazing way of life imitating art, imitating life, and who knows where these things start.
It's all about inspiration, the growth of an idea, the genesis, the gestation,
the back and forth.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be good if those people didn't know anything about Anthony Eden and never looked him up. And so when I think probably we started. Did I tell you that idea? When did I tell you about it?
Well, it must have been just after you were off your flight.
Yeah.
It was while I was at the hotel. I was working, so it was at night. So you just landed probably in Melbourne. You'd only been there. It was like your first night or something. And you said, "I've got this idea for something of us trying to do this."
Mm-hmm.
And you sent me your kind of like
Notes.
very short Word document of this scene that you'd made.
Yeah.
And we hashed it out over the next hour or so. Basically, what this was, which was that the show would be
Should we do the log line?
our attempted document. No, let's keep the log line out of this.
Yeah.
Would be our attempt, because we instantly sort of, I think, both knew without ever explicitly saying until later on that we were going to be assuming the characters from the film trunk video, that it would be us, but this version of us that we'd created on film. For anyone who has been to patreon.com/shamecity and seen the film trunk,
I've kept that video up rather than replacing it with a new appropriate one, so
which we have definitely
that
made,
we
but
could
just
talk about
exactly,
it now. But check that video out because that's
so we had this idea and we hashed out kind of why are we doing this and why are we filming it, and then when I came to yours, we wrote a bit of it and we filmed some of it, and then we
mostly improv stuff.
Yeah, because
around.
that is the only way that we've ever known how to work. I to this day I can't sit down and write a script or anything.
Oh really?
I can't just sit down and contrive a script because I find
when I was doing
they
it,
always seem.
I had to do it as in I was just speaking it to no one. Like if anyone, people probably were in the flat that day that I was doing it in like an hour, and I was just acting out both our characters. But I agree, it's weird.
Yeah, it's
especially for this kind of thing as well. It's not like people aren't looking at the camera and going, "We have to get out of here, Tom." It's very like it's supposed to just have the rhythm.
There's not enough time.
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to be an argument and a debate and two people just talking and failing and whatnot. But yeah, so we filmed ourselves doing it, and then we wrote a script from it, and then we tried to edit it and re-edit it and read it and whatnot. And we've been doing this now for over a year.
Which is to say, we've probably spent a maximum
Over
of
a week.
probably a day in total, 24 hours. But we did an amount and then just sort of stopped for ages and forgot about it. And then I don't know why we started thinking about it again recently. I don't know what prompted that.
Because we kind of said on air about having more time to do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then we sort of in private said, we should probably finish that script that we've been talking about. And that still, even though we hadn't done anything on it for about 8-9 months, was still what we were between us intrinsically and in an unspoken sense, hanging all our hopes of fame
still
on.
Kind of working.
It's still stuck on the internet somewhere, not visible to anyone but us. But someone's going to pick it up.
I mean, the BAFTAs must be sniffing around.
Absolutely thirsty for this stuff.
Yeah. So we spent it just so happens that this is the time at which 2 major open submissions for comedy scripts are open in the UK. The BBC's Writers' Room thing, which gets like 80 billion people sending their rubbish, and the BAFTA one, which is only like 400 last year.
Really?
400 or 500, something like that.
Oh, come on.
I know.
We've surely got to be
Don't curse it!
At least thought about.
I think we must be top half. But it's really hard to say, isn't it? So let's think about some thoughts we have about the process. Here's one thought. We left it till very late.
But that's typical. Yeah. That's both of us in everything that we've ever done, really.
And it's always worked out well so
far.
I've never been prepared for anything.
We sent this in 45 minutes before the deadline.
Oh, well, the other one was 15 minutes before the deadline.
But the one today, we sent that in 45 minutes before the deadline.
That was pretty good.
That's the longest before a deadline I've handed something in for...
Ever.
Yeah. Well, like since school, that is the longest it's been.
Mine includes school. But yeah, so we left quite a lot of stuff. I think these competitions are designed so that you've written a first draft maybe around this time and then look to submit the next year. So you've probably rewritten drafts, you've done read-throughs with actors, you can do like paid services. And, for better or... you would expect worse, but I'm not confident that it's the case. We've eschewed all those conventions in favour of a gung-ho...
What we did was we left it for 9 months, and then we went, let's spend one day,
let's
spend one night going through it and reading it 17 times and scrapping bits we hate and adding bits we love.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to come of it, but I'm sure at some point we're going to film the pilot ourselves.
Definitely.
Because it's a good way to get attention. It's like what they did with The Office. They filmed their own pilot.
I fully think that we should attempt to write the whole thing anyway. I think it's worth it. Yeah,
and also the first episode is kind of designed to be scalable to the fact that the series scope expands as the project expands. So at the beginning it is just us and a character that we've written to be played by my mum, which is intentionally she's
not just written to be played by, who in the script is his mum.
She's
with the same name.
Part of the patheticness is that we have to get my mum to film part of our interview.
Yeah.
And then, so we'll share that. There'll be news and developments. I know some of our listeners are involved in writing stuff. So if you've got any inclination, I would recommend heading over to reddit.com/r/screenwriting.
Yeah.
Good place to be. And also, get in touch with us. Tell us what you're working on. And if you want to have a read through the script, we'd be more than happy to receive your feedback. All notes are useful. And
1988.
Go on. What
Anything
genocide?
Special?
Yeah, how many thousands of people killed?
Heard of Ivan the Terrible?
Pretty bad.
Turns out he was guilty of war crimes.
No, with a name like that.
Retired US car worker has been found guilty of Nazi war crimes.
Wow.
Turns out that Ukraine-born John, and I would apologise for mangling his name here, but it turns out he was a Nazi war criminal.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to have a
John Demjanjuk. Can you... Demjanjuk?
Yeah, why not?
68 could now be given the death penalty when sentence is passed next week. 3 Israeli judges ruled that Demjanjuk was the guard known as Ivan the Terrible at the Treblinka death camp in Poland. Now imagine being not just a soldier at Treblinka, but also one that the people there knew
Had a
you
specific
as
nickname.
Ivan the Terrible.
Just getting any nickname at all as a Nazi guard seems like a real
unless it's like
error.
Johnny the Favourable,
Johnny, they're trying to free you. Yeah.
Johnny Schindler.
That's him. So it's a pretty bleak day, April 18th.
Yeah, what I like is, newspaper articles, certainly online, but actually, no, thinking about it, even papers have often kind of a halfway down, they have an enlarged quote.
A pull quote.
Yes. And it's in a larger font or it's highlighted. This article, this was from 1988. It's been kind of re-uploaded to the BBC website.
Yeah.
So they've, in a half-hearted effort, got a pull quote, which they've just put in a blue box.
Good.
Halfway down the article. Interesting choice. It's a quote from John Demme himself.
Good.
And the quote is, "I am an innocent man."
Oh. I'm an innocent man, shouts Nazi guard.
Shouts convicted
War
Nazi
criminal.
Treblinka war criminal John Demjanjuk.
Wow.
So,
Not getting him on the show then.
all in all, what I'm saying is mixed day.
This is the only good thing that's ever happened on April 18th.
Apart from the protest against the hydrogen bomb.
This is better.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's
It
at least
saved
more
more people.
contemporary.
Yeah.
And also, protest didn't fucking work. Whereas
They
this...
dropped the fucker all over the gap.
over Japan. Whereas this, I mean...
To be fair, that was after that
Oh,
protest.
yeah, quite
Oh,
significant.
well, that was...
They didn't
the protest
stop
was
it.
after that,
Yeah.
sorry.
But they didn't, it was a bit late then.
Yeah.
If anything, they
Imagine
were sleeping on that.
they've been organising it since 39.
1944 they started. They're like, right,
In
guys.
the 60s, they finally got together. You've got some content.
Sure do. It's
Bring it
also
to us.
Related to the anniversary, of course, naturally. I've gone, whereas you've gone for a kind of specifically...
Anniversary bit of content.
No, specifically unpleasant in terms of
right,
the
yeah.
dates. What I'm going for is a more uplifting, spiritual
good.
message, because that's the kind of guy I am.
No, that is nice.
You think Isaac, you think what? Spiritual. Yeah, that's probably all of them. That's my main vibe. Numerology. That's something you're into? You like the numbers?
I love numbers.
Yeah.
I love maths
And you love...
so much.
Oh, no. Sorry. Less maths, more maths adjacent number magic, we'll call it.
Like primes or something.
No, less of that, and not even the magic squares so much as how like 3. That means you're going to be
third
rich.
number.
You're going to come back as a big rich ghost.
What do you mean when? Come back.
Oh yeah, no, that's
when?
fine. Don't worry about it. So no matter what your star sign, if you
Wait, hang on. So, no, just before you bring this in, because
Go on.
I actually know I do really love maths. I've been reading books on maths.
yeah,
Love maths.
Numerology.
No.
oh,
No,
that's an
specifically-
area that you haven't got to yet. That's fine.
Specifically maths. No, well,
It's
because
a subset. It's a field.
as I understand it, as I've seen, and I'm willing to accept that I may have been reading
Yeah.
books with a bit of a kind of mathematical rather than numerological bent. But
A bias,
what I
we'll call it a
understand
bias.
is numerology is horseshit.
Oh no, it's a complicated.
There is a lot of
discipline.
proof.
There's too much proof.
Have you got that for us today?
As I say, there's too much proof just in general for us to put anywhere. It's so much
To even
put on the
consider.
internet.
Don't even worry about it.
Look. Let me
worry
give you.
about
Here are
it.
the options. You can have, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, all these sites.
yeah.
You can have all those.
And I've got those and all the mathematical truths.
Or you can have just the whole internet's numerology, because that's how much evidence there is, which you want to give up everything else just so that a skeptic, a narc, let's be honest, can have a go at
How much
a particular
data would you
discipline.
estimate is on the internet?
There's a lot. That's actually...
And what you're saying is that humans have,
Mm-hmm.
single individual humans have come together to
The thing
to
about
just know that.
numerology is that you don't need individual humans, because it's the stars.
Oh, it's
the stars that know the knowledge.
And-
and they
and
beam
they-
it down to
what
us
do-
with
in
their
what
light
sense?
and fire. In all the senses. Give me a sense in which you can know something. Metaphysical knowledge. Of
proprioceptively.
course they know how close everything is.
Do you even know what that is?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's to do with the sense of distance from things, isn't it?
Sort of.
Like how far away your hand is from
Yeah,
your
where
face.
you are. Yeah.
No matter what your star sign. If you were born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th day of any month,
Those are all multiples of 3.
and
Oh,
of
9.
you have an affinity to these people born under the signs of Aries and Scorpio. We're in Aries, this podcast, because of its birthday.
Right.
And their ruling planets Mars and Pluto. As Scorpio rules rebirth and reincarnation, that's a twofer, you should consider the fact that anyone... Now, this is where it gets big, because so far the power graph's been a bit, it's just like standard numerology.
Yeah.
Your day-to-day numerology. This is a big scoop here. You should consider the fact, Declan, this is you, and all our listeners, that anyone you meet who is born under either sign may have a past life connection to you. So that's good, isn't it? Think of all...
But what that means is we to each other, maybe.
And us to all our listeners. Wow. And if that's not a message of hope this anniversary, then...
Is that everything for the 9th?
Of course not. I've got pages of this.
Shall I tell you what? Shall I interruption?
Go on.
Here we go. I've got a magic trick for you.
Okay. Is it one of those audio magic tricks?
Yes.
Okay.
Or in audio. Go into your little notes.
Yeah. I'm in my notes.
Write out a number.
Okay, I've written one.
No. Make it a bigger number than...
I didn't mean I've written the number 1.
No, but a bigger number than 1 digit.
Okay.
Let's make it at least 5.
At least 5, okay.
At least 5.
I've done it.
Right, now, you're all right at maths.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be...
Something you could double like anything.
I can double
business.
anything, but I'm not going to be doing multiplications.
No, nothing huge. Okay. All I want you to do is add up the digits in your number.
Okay, done.
Done.
Yes.
Have you written that down?
Yes.
Then what I want you to do is take that away from your original number.
Okay, I'm going to do this with my calculator because I've picked a very unwieldy number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Right. So, what I want you to do is delete a digit, from your number that isn't 0.
And then do I compress it back into a normal number?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a number.
Okay.
But just get rid of one of them.
Done.
Okay. And then what I want you to do is read out to me the digits of your number.
Or the number?
No.
In any order?
The digits of your number, in any order.
Okay. There's a slight problem.
Which is what?
I've fixed the problem by changing my answer to one of the steps. 4.
Right.
8.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
That's them. What's going to happen?
Did you cross out an 8?
Yes.
There you go.
Wow, it's magic.
That's amazing.
I did pick the number 88888. So if I just said, oh, my number's 888, and you'd be like, did you cross out an 8? I mean, I've already kind of pissed on that bonfire with that one. So I went back and changed a step.
Yeah.
But that was good. Thank you for the interlude. So you are a numerologist then, because that's actually one of the...
That's magic, that is. Not mathematical fact. Don't worry about digital roots and multiples of 9 factors. Don't worry about that.
You're likely to lead a life that appears
just me.
The show,
I see. Sorry.
larger than life to those around you. You may have been lucky enough to retain some knowledge and wisdom from past lives, and if so, know that you are here to pass that on. That's what we're doing now. Passing on.
Is that what we're doing? What I mean is that is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You phrased that as a question by accident.
I know.
Because
I'm always doing that.
Inflection.
I'm always doing that. We are passing on knowledge from past lives.
That's what we say in our iTunes description. Like, we're not going to lie there. The Bronze Award-winning nobodies, Declan and Isaac, come together to share knowledge from past lives.
Have you seen? There's a wonderful old ITV show called "Have I Been Here Before?" in which celebrities were regressed to past lives.
Yes, I do remember.
And talked about that. And there is a particular Scottish celebrity who is taken onto the show.
Do we know who it is?
I think it's Jockey. No, it's not Jockey Wilson, is it?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I can't remember who his name is. But there's one of my favourite moments of this, which more than any other, in a show that is hours of bullshit, one after the other, implies there's some kind of lie going on here, is of him lying down, passed out on this sofa, and the woman interviewing, who has a voice like the lift in our building, like, hello,
floor 4,
and where are you, and who are you,
like the space farm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a space farm.
A space farm. And he is a soldier. He's a young soldier in a war.
The war.
And what are you doing? He's like, fighting. He's like, and what position are you? Probably private. And she says, and who are you fighting? And he goes, probably the English.
Probably the English.
Probably the English.
Probably doesn't feel like a word that should feature in any past life regression, because if you're regressed, you know, and if you're not, then there's no. It's
Then it's
bullshit.
What? Bullshit. It's a
Past
strong
lives.
word.
Past lives are not accepted by all the numerologists out there.
Oh, right.
I
So,
fall
so
into
that was a kind of what you said by, you know, we've got past life connections to all of our other listeners
Yeah.
and to each other. That's kind of like hearsay. It's
metaphorical.
potential. It's figurative.
It's literally, yeah. Wow. Your number, and that's the number 18. It's one of extremes. You'll either be an inspiration to others or get bogged down in jealousy and be highly oblivious. Which one do you think we're going for?
Well, I mean, I know that I'm not jealous of you, so probably the other. What was the other?
Be oblivious. So you're oblivious of why you should be jealous.
We're both very oblivious.
You are, however, a natural leader and will fight for what you think is right.
Are we?
That's true. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Maybe some of them only apply to me, and that might be one.
Oh, right.
For that.
You're oblivious as to why you should be jealous of me.
No.
Yeah, no. That no, thinking about it, that does make sense, you see.
You can be undone by impatience, that's you, and that's something you need to guard against. If your expectations are not met immediately, you can become destructive. And by that, I mean self-destructive.
That's definitely me.
Despite the fact that you can come across...
I punched a bag of donuts earlier because I got beaten on a video game.
Wow. Despite the fact that you can come across as brash, you have a soft heart and are a sucker for a sob story. Does that apply?
Oh, to me, 100%.
However, now there's a real non sequitur. You have a soft heart and are a sucker for a sob story. However, before lending any money,
Ivan the Terrible.
before lending any money, you should try pointing them in a direction where they can help themselves. If you do end up lending money, then only do so if you can afford to write off the debt, as unlikely you'll see it again. This especially applies to siblings.
100%. They wrote that about the homeless.
Yeah,
100% who wrote this meant that about the homeless.
Now this is an interesting. Did you mention that you liked maths?
Yes.
Yeah. So this, I think you'll be able to weigh in on this because it's a math.
Oh, is this someone who's kind of straddling mathematics and numerology?
Numerology is always between the two worlds, isn't it? It's really the bridge between the
two worlds
stars
of what?
Of Earth and the stars, because they're another.
And where's maths?
Maths, yeah, it's everywhere.
Maths is everywhere, and numerology is specifically between Earth and the stars, right?
Which is itself
mostly
two
everywhere,
different points where maths is. Number 9, you'll know this if you've done maths. Did you do A-level maths? GCSE maths as well? Mm-hmm. Did it in primary school? Yeah. So you'll have covered number 9 is considered by many a sacred number. Yeah? Done that module.
Sacred in what sense?
It's a set. Well, I'm glad you asked. Because now this is a big if you multiply
is it about digital roots? Because that's what the magic is about.
If you multiply it by any number,
yeah,
it reduces back upon itself.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's...
What do you mean it reduces back upon
itself?
I
think they mean is if you times... Now, just check this for
times
me.
It by,
I've got a magic trick for you.
Times it by 23.
So, no, just do this for me, even easier.
Okay.
9 times 1.
9.
There you go. It's reduced back to 9. Try another one. It's still 9. 9 times 2.
18.
Now, divide that by 2. What do you get? It's
9.
Yes, sacred.
Well,
now you can do that with any number.
Take the digital root.
No.
Add the digits.
No, this is.
You do it with 3 times 9, 27. 2 and 7 is 9.
Yeah.
And then.
So you're right. It's sacred.
Oh no! Sorry, sacred. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think. Oh.
No.
You need to be more open-minded.
That's just maths.
You display a generous and giving attitude to everyone you interact with.
This is almost actually a clever idea. It's like halfway to a clever idea. Imagine if you started a religion that was only based on facts that already existed.
It's pretty clever.
Like God, what he did was he made hydrogen out of a proton, a neutron, and an electron.
I mean, that's just a more advanced version of what religion tried to do anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't know what hydrogen was.
What you're saying is they peaked too soon.
Yeah. If they'd done religion, if they did a Jesus now, that would be.
If Jesus, maybe that's what the second coming is. He comes back and he goes, and he looks at the Bible and he goes, Noah's Ark.
And he goes,
no. What we meant was quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
And everyone goes,
superposition.
2 of every elephant. That's basically the
boson.
That's the Higgs boson.
Look, I've got one more bit for you that I came across.
Okay.
Part of numerology is it's tangentially related to, or at least takes some influence from symbology. So all the stars, they're in those different shapes. Like there's the Libra, there's the Cancer, the Sagittarius, the just different random patterns. So the Sabian symbol for our birthday, and this is
Who's Sabia?
no one knows.
Okay,
That's one of those mysteries in numerology.
Yeah.
The Sabian symbol for your birthday, and we're calling this the show's birthday.
Yeah.
When I read this, I knew that this was something I had to pass on to you. It's none other. I'm going to tell you what the symbol is first, and I'll tell you what it means. So I've taken a picture of it. Let me just pull this up. But I need you to only look at the symbol.
I'll tell you what.
Here, describe it for the listeners. It's complex shape, sure.
Imagine a square.
Yeah.
But actually, what you've done is take the midpoint of each line and you join them, not with straight lines, but with lines that are curved around the centre of the square.
You've lost me.
It was a circle.
Oh, a circle.
It was a circle.
That symbol is the Sabian symbol. The Sabian symbol for your birthday is a large, disappointed audience. That is the symbol for this podcast anniversary.
People who watch the BAFTAs.
I'm talking about everyone who's ever heard this large, disappointing show. This symbol is a reminder of the importance of responsibility. You must acknowledge that it is no longer something, they've missed a word, that's probably part of the numerology for us to guess, no longer enough maybe to lack preparation in life, and instead we must acquire the maturity to be critical of your own failures and shortcomings.
You did a lot of pointing at me when you said your.
It directed that bit at you again there. So how do you feel that the internet, the numerology net, has told us that
feeling
large and disappointed is the way?
You've put a lot of blame on me, and that makes me think I don't really want to bring in my final bit of content.
No. When I said all that stuff, that was the numerology talking, because I channel what's on the page when I'm in that zone as a numerologist myself. I'm only a novice,
right?
And perhaps that's where some of it was lost in translation. Because I guess
what you're saying is that
it's because I'm channeling it, I have to channel it out.
So whilst numerology might
hate
blame me, you don't.
Oh, of course not. But let's shake hands live on air. There it is. Make it an audible shake as well. There it is.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to go and get my bit of content.
I'll stall for time with all kinds of music.
A minute or so.
That's
is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
You can stall for a minute.
No, I'm not going to talk.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to play sounds that I found.
Play some sounds. Play some good sounds.
Fruity, 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 fruity.
Declan has returned. He's emerged into the room with the air of a man about to sort of Scrooge his way into his own funeral scene, but he is carrying a large frame, like a canvas frame.
Now look.
Tell us what's going on.
Look, Isaac.
Yeah.
You and I.
Yeah.
We've a lot in common. We've a lot different.
Yes.
You know, your numerology feature almost perfectly. You're a man of faith.
Yeah, of course.
You've a lot of belief.
Deeply beliefful.
But not in things that have any kind of grounding.
Oh,
you just kind of put it out there.
I put it out there and see what comes back. Yeah.
I'm a man of science.
Are you?
I try and look to the facts.
Okay.
I'm not myself necessarily. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm not necessarily.
I was going to say I've not seen you in a lab coat.
Accomplished scientist myself,
Yet.
but I like to look at the data. And one of the things that I've looked at is that for the last year, we've done this podcast. Now, whilst it's almost true that anyone in the world could do a podcast, very few could do a good one.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. And I feel as though our listenership, the culture, the community that we have put together, the number of people we've got listening, the number of downloads we've had, the diversity of audience that we've had, would imply that we put together a good podcast.
It's all right.
Now, podcasts, they don't need to have websites.
No,
but we do.
We've gone that step further.
We do.
Beyond the Call of Duty.
You built that, didn't you?
I built it out of my own sweat and tear.
Exactly.
Just
bit
the
of blood
one
and
tear.
some more blood and some tear and some sweat.
Sputum.
And you have to edit a podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't just chuck it out there, and you do that as well.
You don't necessarily have to edit, but we'd certainly not be allowed to keep doing them if we had released our original drafts.
And there's a bit of artwork that comes with every one.
That's true. There's a bespoke stencil image. Yep.
Yeah.
Usually I aim for, I don't know if you've noticed, the theme that I go for is like horrific images. Yeah.
So all in all, there are lots of things, but all I really do is I come to the mic once a week or twice a week, and I spout some sort of nonsense, often hastily prepared. But really, when it comes down to the meat and bones of the preparation, of the execution of the episodes, that's down to you, and you take the kind of final creative decisions. You take the hard work, and you actually make sure that whatever horse shit we manage to spew into this microphone gets out there into the wide world. And I wanted on this anniversary to thank you for that. But I also knew that I wouldn't be the only one. That people out there, if they knew, I mean, they probably already knew, but if they didn't know, they should know. And if they knew then, they would want to know. That also, they need to know that you're the one.
Okay.
Who does this work. So what I did was about a month ago.
Right.
I contacted 12 of our closest listeners.
Disciple number, is that's
there you go.
That wasn't accidental,
because you consider yourself a kind of Jesus figure.
I'd say, what's thrust.
And what I thought was, what does Isaac love more than anything else? And what I settled on, some might have thought Sondheim, some might have thought beer,
cats,
some might have thought cats.
The
what
moon.
I thought was poetry.
That's a good shout now.
But not just any poetry.
No, that's what I was going to say.
Because, anyone can write a poem.
Rhyme of the Ancient Who.
Yeah.
To a
Anyone can
Grecian
pop
what?
those together. to a Grecian...
Urn.
What to a Grecian urn?
Ode. It's an ode. Yeah.
And what's an ode?
An ode is a type of poem where you do like an ode to something. Oh,
Yeah, why do you do
I love
that?
this thing. Here's like my thanks for it existing, this Grecian urn.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's short for...
Because what I've done is I've put together an ode.
An ode.
And it's an ode to you.
Wow. My very own ode.
And what I did was I thought I could just write one. I've got odes in me.
I know. I believe it.
I could pop an ode out.
I see them clawing their way.
But I thought I don't want it to be just from me.
Okay.
I want it to be from the listenership. And I thought we could come together and do it. But I thought what would be better is if, in the spirit of our own collaborative poetry,
Yes.
if what I did was I just assigned everyone a number from 1 to 12, and they'd just write a line.
Clever.
And then they'd give it to me.
And did you take any decision making in the order there?
I chose the order beforehand.
Oh, nice.
And then I got them to write it.
Good.
And whatever order they came in, whatever happened,
Slam it together.
just smashed it together.
LHC.
And what I've done is I've got you an ode.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna stop talking and see.
And what I've done,
Let the ode speak for itself.
what I figured I'd do, I'll read you the ode, and then I'll give you the ode to look at.
Okay.
So here, should I do the authors first? Or should I
Yes,
do- yes. So, in order, this is from That's a Shame listeners, Shy Yeti, Amanda Delane, my mother. It's from Joseph D'Angelo.
I know him.
It's from Kangaroo.
Very nice.
Mark Stratfold.
Super cont.
We've got Noah.
Of course we do.
We've got Toby Milestones King.
I wouldn't bet my dollar he'd not be.
We've got Emily off of Mugs.
I dare say we do.
We've got the podcast Pangolin in.
Oh, mysterious.
We've got Kevin.
Lovely.
We've only got Prof Matt in on this. And we've got Amy Matthews off of
Wow.
Guest.
Off of guest.
And here, immortalised forever,
I still haven't seen it. Tilt it away from me.
is an ode to Isaac.
Okay.
Are you prepared?
Is anyone ever prepared for their own ode? I expect not.
The birds in the garden all charge for their song. A public service they provide, exposing shames where'er they hide. Fat Earth welcomes its members all across the globe. Only a cube, a ladder,
Call back.
and the inevitability of the passage of time. It's a shame that will mortify you. Embrace it, as Tas would not exist without you. Keep Hoot silenced! Fingerprints, like you, aren't unique. And then, no more shame. A boy immortalized in a toaster. Breakfast is ready. Mediocrity at best. The dull fade of a pangolin's scales.
Who's that one from?
Chagrin, chagrin, why dost thou follow me so? Dodging thunder, slipping, shattering, engulfed by scent of peat and fern. Behold the unsettling mind palace of Isaac. Unpronounceable name, piano man, block switch survivor, observer of shame. And here
Oh, wow. Look
is
at
your
that. That's amazing.
anniversary. Shameversary.
Wow, I
gift.
haven't seen all these people before.
What
That's
I'd like
so
to
cool.
say for people who can't see is that my favourite part
Mark's
about it
in Paris.
is that just because of the way that people happened to frame their photos, Professor Matt looks like a dwarf.
Oh, yeah, he's very low down.
He's
very
so
far away.
low down in his own frame.
What a
Matt.
handsome man Professor Matt is.
I mean, incredibly so,
what
with
an
such a
attractive
poetic little
listenership.
bunch.
Goodness me. Well, that's, I mean, words, you know, they're a tool unto themselves.
Have you popped a little glance into the bottom left at the old...
Oh, there's an art. It's some sort of horse. I
That's
can't
right.
read what it says, though.
It's the pangolin.
Oh, it's a pangle.
And who's that?
Oh, goodness. Well, we can't reveal that on air, surely. That's a secret that, you know, has to live and die
Exactly. But
with us.
what I would
But
say
that's probably
is
a
that
vessel.
we owe to the pangolin said entire image.
Oh, really?
The
Wow.
pangolin helped to construct this image because I myself am woefully inept.
It's very nicely done. I mean, we'll put a photo on the Twitter, of
Yes,
course.
I've got it saved. We can pop it up on there.
It's in That's a Shame, hot pink, hot blue colours.
Exactly.
The sort of neon,
Yes, we've got the
Post
dog.
pretty.
Got the dog in here.
the little dogs
Gotta
are
get the dog in
watermark.
there.
It's Comic Sans. It's all there.
It's
I mean,
everything we could need as shame.
guys, what can I say? All that I can offer in return is another year of nonsense. And you have kind of set a precedent where I will be expecting, you know, some sort of present now.
No. The precedent that set is that I'm expecting
Oh,
a
is
gift
that
for the 2 year.
right? Okay, so we're going to alternate.
This was a month in the making.
It's
Imagine
very
that.
nice.
Imagine us doing something.
Well, I can't imagine
when
me
say
doing
us,
it.
What I mean is me.
That's lovely.
Imagine me doing something that took a month to do.
I know. Well, it's very kind of you. And does that mean you like being on the show still?
Love it.
Good. We're
Yeah,
keeping
cheers.
it going,
yeah.
are we?
Yeah, no, I'm on board.
Why not?
I've got it for those that don't know, I've got it in a frame.
It's very
and
nice.
everything.
It's going to be on the Twitter.
Pops it in a frame. I've got to move it up in the frame because it's cut off part of the image. But what are you going to do?
Small issue.
That's what cheap, lowest price frames will do to you.
.biz. Look, I think I was going to do some emails, but I think we should end on that. Really,
You want to end on that?
it remains only to say thank you again to all of our listeners, and of course, I mean, I don't like to play favourites, but if you are in the image, then there's a higher echelon of my respect that you have.
People were more than willing to take part. We had many ideas for what to do. My initial idea that I wanted to do was to try and send a card
Oh my God, can you imagine how
through
long that would
everyone.
take?
But then because I had that idea in January, and I thought I could do that. But then I thought about it again probably in February and thought, got to send that card. And then thought in March, I'll try and get the people's addresses, and then I'll
Maybe an email.
And then it got to like the end of March, and I sent everyone a message, and I said, I've got this idea to send a card. And then at least 3 people messaged back. Probably a bit late for that.
I love the
bluntness. We were going to record something, but then I realised that my attempt at audio editing something into anything that would approach audible content would be foolish. So we settled on.
Oh, it's the best one of the choices, definitely. I shall carry it with me long term. I might have to revise or add to previous answers about what object I'd save in Housefire.
Yeah, I don't want to play favourites, but I think just for the sheer brevity, I think Noah's Keep Hoot silent. Partly for the brevity, partly for the incorrectness.
It's just
in his
sentiment.
own memory, he's remembered the word hoot, and that's it.
Yeah, because what was it? It was like you had to use hoots to unlock.
Yeah, it was
stories.
hooked,
Yeah.
and you needed hoot.
Hoot
or
was the currency.
You could become a super hoot.
Glad we didn't. So glad we
Imagine if
didn't.
we'd invested in being super hoots.
But Noah, he really course corrected us on that one. Didn't
Exactly.
He? And we didn't
We owe
listen
it
to
to
him
him
to begin with, but then eventually.
Then we went, no, he's right. This
is
is
right.
horseshit.
Yeah. Look, this is a very optimistic end, and I have changed my mind. I'd like to end with Danger's email because I think it adds to this community sense.
Yes, Danger's email. I forgot about Danger's email. Go on.
Hashtag shame date. Dear shame boys, I surely...
We should say, this email, this isn't aimed really at us.
No.
Listeners, those in the image, those out of the image,
He addresses them directly.
Hear ye.
I surely cannot be the only one who feels a deep spiritual connection with every other listener of TAS across the globe, despite never meeting them. Having been unlucky in love for some time now, the idea came upon me to have someone else do some of the legwork for me. So, behold, the inaugural hashtag shame date profile from yours truly. Please share this with fellow single shame citizens, a name that I don't think needs any workshopping. It's complex, but that's the
talked about
vibe.
that before as well, I think,
Yeah, single shame citizens. NB, shame citizens who are single, not shame citizens guilty of only the one shame. That's funny.
A single shame citizen.
Here it is. This is his profile. Dange, famed guest of episode, insert episode number here, is looking for love. And what a better match than with a fellow shame citizen. Please listen to my guest star appearance to get a 97% accurate representation of my character. Email, and he's given his email, so I'm giving it out. Yep. Joseph.D'Angelo, that's DANGELO, at me.com, with the subject line, shame date, all caps, and we can get the shame date ball rolling. Eagerly awaiting my future shame wife, Dange. Hashtag shame date, hashtag shame wife, hashtag single shame citizen. So what better way to continue that theme of community that you and our 12 have so brilliantly begun?
All I'm going to say is it's a shame that he specified shame wife.
I think he's...
As judging by this photo, if he wants a date with a white man, he is in luck.
I think Dan's is an open-minded chap, and I think even if you don't consider yourself perhaps the best candidate for shame wife, just drop him a line. Say hello to joseph.d'angelo at me.com, because he, as we do, would love to hear from you. And yeah, we definitely... Should we make our focus for this year to build the community aspects? Because we've certainly...
I think so.
We've made a lot of starts towards that, but then what with it being a challenge...
or there being effort, do you mean?
Why don't you become, as you've done this, it seems like you've volunteered to become official Shame City Community Outreach...
Ambassador.
Ambassador, yeah, like an envoy, a diplomat.
That's an amazing honour.
Well, I grant it to you today and henceforth. So hopefully, gang, we'll stay in touch. We'll communicate in other means beyond this mostly one-sided mechanism. Until episode 77, I've been Isaac. You've been.
I've been Declan.
And what a year it's been.
Thank you all.
Much love.
Ladies and gentlemen, a solemn moment
epilogue
of prayer. We at That's a Shame, we've lots of people that we looked up to.
Yep, over the years.
Over this year.
And in particular one evening.
And, we've been talking about on this day, and, we made jokes. We made light of the fact that bad things have happened on this, the day of our anniversary. But we never thought that it would touch us like this.
I literally just stopped recording 10 seconds ago after that lovely song.
Barely that.
A lovely optimistic outro.
Yep.
And got a BBC breaking news alert that TV presenter Dale Winton of Supermarket Sweep fame has died at age 62. So that's sad. We watched a documentary, Mark and I, where he was going around talking to...
Florida.
He's going around Florida and he went to see a medium, and he said, the only thing I don't want to happen is I don't want you to try and contact my mum. She did that straight away. She tried to contact his mum, who had committed suicide as a younger woman, and it was very traumatic for Dale. But he handled it with such grace that a man who I previously knew very little about, and had, let's be honest, tuned into his documentary for... my own comedy purposes, I warmed to him immensely, and it was a lovely experience.
I myself had many an exciting and cheeky afternoon, annoying my nan by putting on Supermarket Sweep. It was by some considerable margin her least favourite thing ever to be on television, and I used to revel in calling her in from another room. To the television for something going on. Nan, quick! And she'd rush in, as only nans can do, only to find Dale there in some tight leather pants in the middle of a fake studio supermarket, telling people to go and find the baked beans. And the way that she chastised me, I tell you what, I'll never forget it.
This is a reminder then for us to make April 18th, the best day it can be, to cherish each other and the Shame City community, because you never know when it might be your last sweep.
Good night, listeners.
And good luck.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Come to you.